Hey everybody, I think I got it. Hooray! A little bit of trouble this morning. I'm getting logged out of everything all the time. How's everybody doing? I have been busy with many things. We are trying to organize stuff around here, and there's way more than we have. You know, it's hilarious. We have a lot of games, and we keep getting more. And we're trying not to go berserk. Nikki and I were discussing some game that we actually want to own, and I'm like, I'm not sure I want to buy it right now. But here's the deal. You like a game, you better buy it, because it might not be available soon. And this is a game that could be that, so we definitely need to get it. I hope everybody's doing well. I have been working a little bit on the minis. Actually, let me cut to that. Let me get to that angle. There we go. So I'm going to work on Captain Carter. She's really awesome. I mean, Captain Carter is the reason why I went all in on... Hey, thanks for the follow, Tara Wynn. Captain Carter is the reason I went all in on the Marvel United Multiverse, because I wanted this mini, and it was like... I don't remember what it was in, but I'm like, I'm getting it. I love it. But I pretty much think I finished. Hey, thanks for checking in, Tara Wynn. I'm happy that you're a big BG fan. So am I. I painted all three of these. The base is brighter. I may still do a wash that's a little darker on the Avengers paraphernalia on the bottom of these. But I do like them, and I think it's generally kind of dark enough. Maybe some of the colors I will put something on, but I do love the shield and Iron Man's helmet and Mjolnir and Spider-Man's mask. It's cool. So I did paint the base. I'm going to actually do that really quickly this morning. Again, I usually do this is something that Uncle Adam over at Tabletop Tycoon taught me. When we were doing, we had him do a live stream during the pandemic when we had our online convention. And thanks very much, Terwin, on our online convention. And we sent him actually these, the very first box of Marvel United. And so he painted the Hulk, and I don't remember the second one. It might have been Iron Man. But he showed painting the bases with black and then painting a coat of contrast over it. And he uses Black Templar. And that's the one I use, but I also love Black Legion. But since I've started using Black Templar and Black Legion didn't exist at that time, I've continued using Black Templar. So let's stick it to this, let's stick it to the base here and just do this really quickly. Thankfully, this paint dries a little kind of bit slower. But let me see here. I will use one of these Sax brushes for this. Let me make sure these are clean. I think I left soap in them when I, I'm sorry, can't read your name there, but thanks for the comment. Hope you, I should translate it. I wonder if I can. It's, I believe, in Russian. Nope. No translation in here easily. Well, maybe. I don't know how to right click on this thing. Nope. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for the comment. I would love to be able to chat with you. So I usually start on the back where you're not really seeing it, because you can see here there was an overlap. You can see the shine there where I start and I go to, I go clockwise around it. This is not a big enough brush, but we'll see. So I brush to the right, but I rotate to the left. I mean, but this actually does a really nice job of removing the brush strokes. You don't, so the issue about painting on these that you're trying to avoid is you don't want the paint to tear. So when it gets to, well, that's kind of messy, whatever. When you get to the other end, it's going to be drying. And if you tear it, the film is, the drying film on top, it just looks terrible. Again, not a big deal. This is just me being, you know, ridiculous. But I try to avoid it. And I'm only putting a coat on. I'm not worried about, you know, it's already black. It just looks pretty nice. But you can see already it's drying. Now it's pretty dry here. We've had a little bit of, we're kind of in the marine layer. So during the, it's basically in June, it's called June gloom. We are not in June. We are just about to be in April. Oof, it's not really sticking very well. I don't want it to stick too well because I had a heck of a time. I left the other one on all weekend, even though I came out here and I painted that. Gosh darn it. That's too much paint. I don't want it to be black there because it is gray. So I'm just cleaning it up, and hilariously it's pretty black there, so I guess maybe I didn't need to worry about it. Although it will look different. It is a different tone. I'm going too far the other direction. But I really look forward to Captain Carter. I do not know why I didn't start with that one. You know why I didn't start with that? I had Immortus primed. Was kind of excited about that one because I wanted to work on the cloak, cape. So I had those three primed, and I started with those, and then I think I just wanted to do this one. I think this was number 2 of the Multiverse box that I have. So I don't know if Captain Carter was, I feel like she wasn't in, she must have been in the main box though. Maybe there was something else that I wanted. I could be thinking of Marvel Zombies because I contemplated buying that one, and I think maybe that was what triggered me not to buy it. It could have been one of them where it's like, you know, you got the zombie version. I think that was the one I'm confusing things with. But I wanted to paint her. I want to paint the Loki that's in the main box. We should be able to look at, oof. This is not the best handle. It is one I've used for decades. It's just a dowel that has poster tack on it, and you could tell it's been a little bit through the ringer as far as painting goes. Now, let's pull that off. Let's look at the other one that was painted. You can see it's already got a better sheen. These brushes are distracting the focus. So it's a great, I don't know if Adam came up with it. It's not completely dry yet, but it definitely smooths out the brush strokes because you're using, well, I'm using, for my black, Pro Acryl Coal Black. I'm getting paint on my hand. And their paints can be relatively flat. And in this case, it's very flat. This is the paint. You can see the brush strokes, right? There are things, the way things are drying. And this other coat of contrast paint. Now, I don't know if Adam still uses the contrast paint. He might use Grim Black now. Because he is first of all, he really loves the whole Speed Paint line and their paints. He's been using their stuff. He is now part of their factory team, I think is what it's called. And so he's basically just using that stuff. And I got to tell you, it's not terrible. They're really nice paints. They're a lot cheaper than the paints from Games Workshop. I just got a little splotched on the thingy there. So it's this game. I'm painting 3 because one is a friend of mine. Well, they're both friends of mine. One of them is my boss. Scott wasn't painting his, and I had already started painting 2. And I actually asked Brian if he wanted to do it. Brian Yu, because he has everything. And, you know, I'm like, it's easier for me to paint 3. And I also kind of just want to paint, see what it's like to do that. Although I got to tell you, bad idea, too much effort. So much work to do. But this game just comes with 10 minis, the base game. Most of them are like 6 to 8 on the expansions, which you mostly can only get through the Kickstarter. Some of them are available. I think really the first wave is kind of more available than others. I do not know what, I mean, that's a lot of SKUs. I can see why they don't do it. I did do recently did the DC Superheroes United. I backed that whole campaign. I don't know that we're going to get that. I hope so. But they're having troubles. But they did release a few months back the Batman Hush one, which is a box set that they had said from the start is going to be available. And it was 8 figures. So I did Batman. Let me close this up. I will surprise. Even though it's in the holder, I will probably spill it. So this one I used a little, I used some airbrushing to do the highlighting from the spotlight. And it's pretty cool. I really like these. Wow, you found Shallow Sea, Zacho? That's awesome. Yeah, you heard us say we made a mistake, so we will fix that, I think. We'll probably put a note in there. This is the Superman, what is he called? Controlled. So he's a, anti-hero kind of thing. He's pretty good. His face is a little dark. I may go back in and try to do that a little bit, but that one turned out cool. I'm glad you found that game. People were asking how to get it, and I'm not sure. It's from, you can get it, it's a Korean publisher. They actually asked us about a new game of theirs, which we'll probably look at. This is Hush, which I don't know this character, but I absolutely love painting this one. Here's the Joker. He turned out really cool. Here's Huntress, which I don't know her either, but I really love painting this one as well. I like the nighttime roof kind of thing going on here. Gosh, is this it? Oh wait, we got 3 more. So here's Harley Quinn, really fun to paint. I actually really enjoyed painting the dust cloud from her hammering the floor here, which was really cool. I was very happy with that result. I actually did something like that previously and did not turn out the way I would have liked it. This is Catwoman. She's cool. Probably not enough highlights. There's a little bit on her. They're not all varnished though, that's the problem. Some of them are. And then Robin, Tim Drake. They're all cool. I really love them. I do hope the rest of them come out. I'm probably more of I was at least when I was a sort of comic book person. Nikki is way, way more into comics than I am. And she gets way more esoteric ones than I do. I was more of a DC person, and I was really basically the Dark Knight and stuff like that when I was a teen. Those are amazing. I bought the anthologies. I was not a weekly, I didn't buy comic books on Comic Book Day or anything like that. So we've got these drying. They're pretty much dry. No, not that one. But yeah, you can see how much better it makes the paint job. It gives it a sheen that the Pro Acryl does not have. And that's cool. I like Pro Acryl being semi-matte or matte. I don't feel all of them are like that, but the black definitely is. and it's a minor league thing to do. You can also, I won't varnish this part. I'll varnish the rest, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to do for the metallics. But still trying there, don't touch it. Yeah, my friend local game store had a few copies and an expansion. Wow. Yeah, the scoring error is not a big deal. Well, it should be fine. We'll make a note in the stuff, and it should work. Because it's a final thing, and it'll change the numbers a little bit. I think in our episode, somebody had a lot of C life, and not necessarily a lot to complete it, but they might have gotten a few more points from that. So the rest of us, I'm pretty sure, it could read, I can't remember who actually won, but it could shift it a little bit. I remember who won. And that might change her score too, so it's cool. I really like it. It'll probably be an episode soonish. I think we're gonna do, we have Cozy Stickerville coming soon. The one issue is we've been avoiding Deborah episodes. I mean, we've been putting them out, but we try to do one a month. Because we have a few in the can, and she is, busy. She's in New York, I believe, filming season 3 of Daredevil Born Again, I guess that's what it's called. And she's in a lot of the episodes this season. Yeah, because it's going from 2 to, well, if you have multiples, if you have 3, that's 2 to 6. That's another 4 points. So we'll see. It'll all be clear. We'll make sure. I might even have Nikki shoot a little bit of a thing to say clearly, so it's not a note that scoring thing is different. So we'll see. But a note will probably be fine, but not everybody reads the screen. It is funny to me. So let's get started on Captain Carter. I could not remember the name, and I do not know why, but I've got it in my brain right now. Captain Carter. So I had to dig up the photo here. Wow, did I not get that saved? Good gosh. Let me go do that. Darn it. Oh, I see. It has the wrong time on YouTube. Oh, well. I did get the right name. It's not like we're going to have a ton of people watching. That's silly, though. I cannot believe I did that. Okay, so I had to dig up. I keep having this. One of the big problems I'm having. I have, many, many logins, and I had to log in and get her redone. I mean, get in to get her photo. It wouldn't load. It's some weird thing that Google's like, you can't load it with this. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I think we're going to start with her face. She does not have a ton of mascara. Maybe it's just brown, like because her hair is brown and her eyebrows are brown. We'll paint her skin. And we're going to use what I just put away, which I should have known I'm going to need it. Gilliman Flesh. Gilliman Flesh is my favorite. I wonder what the flesh tone is. They have Peachy Flesh. So I have a few of the, wow, there's a lot. Peachy Flesh. I wonder if that one's a good one. I never used it, but I'm going to use the Gilliman. I know it best. Hey, Amanda. I wonder why this is so tiny now. The zoom is so, it's Command Plus, right? There we go, a little bigger. I really like this paint. I was disappointed initially, I've told this story many times, until I realized you need to use the, wow, I'm gonna need more contrast medium. You need to use the contrast medium to lessen the intensity of the color. And I still tend to go a little too dark. So she's British, she's not gonna have much of a tan. But yeah, I'm going to start, and I'm going to do a lot of medium. We're going to start off, let me shake this too. But yeah, I'm glad you found that game, Zako. That's awesome. We don't have, I've been looking for it, and haven't seen it. That's Shallow Sea. We played it, Nikki and I played it last week on Thursday, I think. And thankfully somebody else was writing saying that it should only be fish on bubbles. I believe that's the only thing we were counting, is the fish that were not, because any of the other fish on the coral wouldn't count. So I'm not exactly certain. And they changed, I think they edited their comments, but we do know. Hopefully it'll all be fine. It's a weird one, and I think it's just you got to really read it carefully. It's a box. It's a box, and it should be focused on. Nikki just didn't catch it, which is fine. We don't guarantee to. We try to teach it well, correct. And that's one bit where we didn't get it right. But we don't guarantee we're going to play it right. And if we put that note on there, it should be good. But I really like that game. So they sent it to us to do, I think, an in focus video for it. And Nick and Mike did it. That's too dark. I'm pretty sure. We can look. I can paint it on something and we can see here. But I think it's too dark. So my problem is what happens is you get stuff looking like they have a 5 o'clock shadow, and it's not, especially not appropriate for the female characters. Let me just look and see what it looks like on my nail. Too dark. So you can see it's still pretty dark. But this is what's great about this color, is it really does a great job for flesh across the spectrum for humanoid flesh. I really like it. But initially I was just like, I can't get it to be light enough, and I don't know what I was doing, because I know I used the contrast medium from day one. I bought it because I'm like, you're gonna need that. And it was, wow, that might be too light, but that's okay. Because in this case, her skin, it's pretty bright. Her flesh on her face is pretty bright because I cheat and I put on a good amount of highlights on the faces to get them looking right. So I'm trying to decide here. I guess I'll just go for it. Nope, too dark. Wow. Wow. Let me try a little bit thinner coat and see. Maybe not. I really want her to be pale. Now, the undercoating is not a good undercoating for a warm flesh tone, because I like using the cool gray. Well, it's also because I'm painting, these highlights are black. It starts black and then goes gray and then goes white. And it's a much cooler end result. The way that contrast paints and speed paints are designed to be done is you just paint them over a bright undercoating. And in this case, it's a I mean, most cases there's a Wraithbone, and then I used Gray Seer. Gray Seer is a cooler undercoating. That was when I first I bought a can of that because I was in Dallas and I was showing Scott, trying to get him to into it. He ended up painting a bunch of his minis, but now I'm painting him, obviously. But so I bought Rattle Can. He didn't have an airbrush. I don't think he still has one. But he doesn't necessarily need one. And you know, it's a skill too. You got to work on it. Yeah, so she's kind of bluish. It'll be fine. The highlight, you know, the. So I want to stop touching now. Hey, Daryl, how you doing? So yeah, I'm gonna go for her skin to be a little bit paler, and that's fine. And maybe I'll warm it up with some other stuff too. She's got a big dragon's tooth that she's jumping off of here. So yeah, I've mixed all this paint. I'm gonna barely use any of it because it's too. Now notice here, there's some cracks. And that is in the manufacturer of this one, which is a bummer. I don't want to try to fill it. I'm just going to go with it and let her. She's on her way to becoming a zombie. I'm pretty sure I was only going to buy the main box and the thing, and I think she might have been part of something else. I can't believe that's true though, because I believe I've only primed the stuff from the main box, so she's part of it. Maybe there was something else I wanted. I almost feel like you just should paint the whole thing in here, because you're going to paint white over it, and then that way it means you get the right amount of color for her in and around her eyes. Because I was noticing there's a little gray on this one and absolutely on the other one. Now I'm doing it, you know, it's thin. You got to do these paints relatively thin anyway. Looks pretty good here. So it should dry pretty quickly. But I'm not gonna add any more. I think this is gonna be it. I do want her to be pale. Now it's not necessarily the right kind of pale. I had a problem with, I was doing a dry brushed version of the undercoating, which is another option. And I was very unhappy with her face because it looked like she had a 5 o'clock shadow. And you can see, it's just too much. I worked the white or flesh color, who knows what I put down there, too much. And you don't want to do that. You really need to make it thin layers. And I just overdid it. Hey, Cirque. Definitely doing Captain Carter. She's awesome. Now it's okay if I get some of the color on her hair because her hair is brown. So it shouldn't affect anything there. A little heavy there, and it's already starting to gel, so I gotta stop touching it. Let's look at the other ones. this is kind of giving her a more mottled look with that, the cracks, unfortunate. But I don't think I could I don't think I do a good job filling it, which is really terrible. Okay. It's intriguing that they make the eyes very, the irises and the pupils very like off, standing off of the mini. It's really kind of strange. So I'm going to paint, let's see if I could put a little bit up in here without it making it too weird. Okay. She's coming out okay. It's a little splotchy. Oop, need some on her ear. Wonder if I messed that up on the other ones. Not that it matters, you probably won't even see it. Definitely not getting up in there to her hairline. You can see it on all of these here so far. So I'm going to have a lighter brown on her eyes, which is what they've done. On the examples that they released during the campaign. I'm really sad about the DC superheroes. It's really not getting the just dues, and they made a good ton of money on it. I believe near $5 million. Actually, let's look. There's been some updates, but not really. A friend of mine's contemplating selling his if it does get delivered, which is unfortunate. Goodness gracious. Too many things. Okay, so. That's fine. We'll go with this. Okay. They all look pretty good. Even the one with the cracks is not that visible. Okay. I don't think I did her neck very well, though. You probably won't see that either, but... Okay. So. Her eyes are brown, too. Wow, they did an amazing job. Oh, I wanted to see how much they were made. I want to look at the Kickstarter, or the Great Game Found. Game Found. Now, people have been, yeah, they're $4.5 million. People have asked to get their refunds. I mean, I really do want the minis. I want the game, but at the same time, I don't know that I would. It's already bad enough for them. I don't feel I would want to try to get my money back. So first thing I'm going to do is paint white. I'm going to use this fine, pretty fine. It's a 0. It should do the job. It's an older version. I think they've changed the name. I can't remember if they've changed Baumwick as well, but Monument Hobbies have changed them slightly. I do believe they're still using Kolinsky Sable, which is hard to get. I guess there's like a limit to how much they can ship. I don't know if these might even be made in Germany. But because of all the troubles, they are restricting that, which is a total bummer. Because brushes are super expensive now. Let me shake this up. The white is hanging in there. I was telling you about the silver that I could not get to reintegrate. And it's very strange. I absolutely used it on the Batman miniature a few months back. And it just seized up, just the whole bottle. Like, wow, I kept trying to thin it and add, I mean, it's a Vallejo paint. And I tried to use their airbrush thinner, and you know, it didn't cut it. It's really a bummer. Okay. Oh, I was saying that these were not available. These are mixing balls that I bought from, so the white ones, the very bright ones, come from inside. These are the ones that they put inside these bottles, probably in this one, but definitely on the more recent ones. The green ones are the ones you can buy, and it's like 50 for $2.50 or something like that. I bought 5 packages of them, and they just put them in one bag. And then I took the 10 or whatever, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, out of the bottles because I changed the lids. I'm switching everything to these. Wow, where did I put all that stuff? I'm going to probably buy more. I'm switching from the, I should have one eyedropper one. I do. Here's one. I'm getting rid of all the twist ones and putting in the eyedropper ones. These are just easier. Again, I've said many times, no bottle is great. I'm particularly unhappy with the Games Workshop ones, but I fixed this one. It kept opening back up. It's a little maybe open on this edge, but it was just opening and opening. I could not figure out what it was, so I did a pretty good job of cleaning it out. There might be a flashing issue, you know, like the mold injection, because you can see this is a different kind of plastic. This is the one from, actually it's purple because I used this to then clean the other one so I didn't spill it. This is the contrast medium lid, and it's just terrible. Like, it's banged up, and part of it is probably because of me trying to clean out the seal so that it does a better job sealing. And it's nice, it's soft, it does a pretty good job as far as keeping it fresh. But man, the just, I don't know. And you can see it just builds up. And I try to use, so the way to really, I mean, it's mixing it, but you're supposed to really, I don't know if you're supposed to, but you take it off of this little kind of, it's like a scoop, and I just take the paint off of there until I'm done. I don't have any more, and then I'll either shake it up or go reach into the bottle. This is live. Hi, Leah. How you doing? Yeah, I am painting live. Let's see here. So I'm going to get a little bit of white. I'm actually going to put it on my wet palette. I've actually prepped the wet palette properly. Now you can see here, I've used this once. Now they have these, gosh, what do they call them? Membranes. I need to remember that. The ones from Redgrass have a modern one that they call a membrane that you can reuse. And it's pretty legit. But I will tell you now, unless you overly use these, I've wet this palette 5 times, and I've used it maybe twice. Because there's a lighter whitish brown there, brownish white, and then this black. You can easily just rinse it and let it dry and then reuse it, and it does a pretty good job. But it's really kind of critical for me here is that the paint dries so quickly on a palette. I use tiles, so I have, this is a small one. I use tiles to mix paint on and stuff, and I still use it sometimes, but it dries so quickly, and I'm working, you know, I'm sure I can use retarder. I have golden retarder. The issue with using this, it makes it more like an oil paint. It lasts longer. I need to move these out of the shot. But it makes it too long of a dry time for me. And I cannot use it on the speed paints, I don't believe. What's the other thing I can use? I also have, gosh, I don't even know if I have that. I have, and it's good for acrylics. Good gosh. The stuff I use is from Winsor Newton, but there's lots of flow improver. I've used Winsor Newton flow improver for 30 years. I mean, I literally have some bottles that are 30 years old. So let me put a little bit of water on the palette. I usually put like a little dollop, essentially, of distilled water. The whole palette is not distilled water, so it's not really that big of a deal, but it prevents it from getting too much. We don't have a lot of mineral deposits here, so it's not really that big of a deal. But I will take some of it and mix the two in a separate pool. You can see it pulling the paint pigment right out. Actually, you may not be able to see that. So we're going to go with that. It will generally stay there for a little while too, the water bubble. Now, you don't want your brush to be too full. It already was too full from just mixing it. So let's see if we can do this right. Nick Murphy has a funny video where he is trying to paint Doctor Strange's eyes and making a mess. So I work from the inside out. Now I did the flesh already. That's because I wanted to go with the mix around. Boy, it's kind of splotchy. This one is not great. I'll probably work on smoothing it out. So I'm going to keep building on top of it, so it isn't that big of a deal if I get a little bit of white outside of the eye here. This is an interesting one. I don't know if I've painted any of these newer ones. I must have, but I don't. What are his eyes like? Did I even do them? Yeah, I did them. They're maybe just making her eyes larger. Ugh, that's a little bit too much for me. So the angle, I don't want to touch her nose. And I just basically did. If you get in there with a wet brush, and that's not even doing it here, that's how quickly this stuff dries. I also may be painting too soon on the flesh here. I think it's just, I'm actually thinking it's paint and it is not. It's the sheen of her cheek going into the eye socket. So, see if I can do this right. I'm using the wrong brush. Not a good deal. I'm going to let that dry because I do not want to mess that one up. It'll flow too much. Let me start with that one just so I can see if I can do it. So I'm basically going to then cover, oof, it's too wet. Should be okay though. So the reality is you should just paint the whole thing white. And I'll do that on this one. Because then you're going to paint the other color on it and hopefully get it smooth. Oh my gosh, I'm getting it on her cheek again. Now she looks like Storm. We'll let that dry. Let me actually go back to the other one and do the same thing. Because you end up getting a better result. Because then you're just doing a dot of the brown. It's too wet. Aye. Oh, once again, same thing. I don't think there's actually paint there. Well, it looks kind of like it might. It could be just water. You really should have another brush on hand to then fix the problems that you have when you do this, because you can actually clean it up pretty easily. And I have a boatload of brushes right next to me, but they're not ready. And I really should make them ready. Okay. But the nice thing is the wet palette is still very wet. The paint is still usable completely. When you use wet, I don't know if it's actually a wet palette, but when you use a palette that you keep in the refrigerator, like with oil paints, you might put it on vellum, but you can refrigerate it and come back to that paint. It won't dry. You really can't do that. You can sort of use them between days, but you can't go very long, and they separate with a wet palette. So your best bet is just to start anew. First of all, get you good at mixing the colors again. If you remember your formula, and you can get pretty close. Okay. So, let me see if I can smooth out. Which one was the one that was really looking? This one has a little bit of it. There's like a little, it's almost like a coffee stain here, which I could not have done on her cheek. So you can lighten it up. Since this is so faint, you know, that it's a very light amount of color. I'm going to add a little bit of flesh tone, just paint. And glaze on a little bit to change her skin on this one. I'm going to try to do it correctly, where I overwork it on others. If you do it thin, you're less likely. I already feel like I'm overworking it. You kind of want to put a thin coat on and then just let it go. I'm not sure about this brush. It just might be too thin for what I'm doing here. Let that dry because it's a little better, but it's still dark. It seems a little smoothed out, and that could be just the paint, but I really should let it go. I do a little bit maybe with that's very thin down here. Okay. Looks a little better. Okay, I think I'm going to try to do the mouth since it's kind of, I did watch some of that. Nikki, I believe, did. She was big on, she watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I think she watched that one as well. I have not seen much of it. I did see the standalone that they did of her, which was fun. I feel like there's not enough white right here. There's something going on. Make sure I don't have too much paint. There we go. Okay, now, I think we're going to use real paints. I believe I have a flesh tone here that might work. Dorado skin, I don't know. That's not it. I don't want to use a brown for her eyes. So I have not, as I've said, I purchased a whole set of, but it's not a lot actually. It's 50 colors of, yeah, this is not it. 50 colors of paint from the, is there a brown here? Soft leather, that's probably not it. From the War Paints Fanatic line and Mulled Berry. Well, it could be her lips, which I'm not doing that quite yet. Yeah, they don't have a brown in here that's good, I don't feel. Dorado skin. Anyway, you get different, they have a lot of flesh colors in this set. That is kind of insane. There's brown oak. That's probably what I'll use for the eyebrows, or for the eye. I don't know though, I kind of feel if I can get by with one of the browns on her eyes, I would be happier. Because I want them to, I don't want the paint to cover up any kind of highlight that's going on there. Okay. They have her skin, her color, hair on her face, pale. You know, light brown. So they did a lot of shading on her, which I could do to, it's interesting, there's like a dot, I wonder if that's supposed to be a mole on every one of these. I thought it was paint, but who knows? It looks pretty good. It's not too much. Is today the 31st? I think it is. So we're already in April. Hey, April Fool's tomorrow. We don't do those jokes anymore at BGG. I actually went to Scott to help him do an upgrade to the server during April Fool's, right that weekend, and oh my gosh, we just had nothing but troubles. And he ended up working basically the whole weekend I was there fixing it, and people thought it was our April Fool's. Like, yeah, taking the site down, that's not a good April Fool's. And so we were kind of done with it at that point. There was some fun stuff. One of my favorites was, gosh, when we were doing our show, we did what we called Geek Starter. We had some people create stuff that you could bid Geek Gold on, not bid, but put Geek Gold into to get it. And we did one where we were doing a campaign for the second season of GameNight, which hadn't even started yet. It wasn't even close, I don't think. Maybe it was close-ish. But it was all the stretch goals and things were to benefit us, not to benefit the audience necessarily. It was pretty funny. You can actually, I don't think the website's there anymore. It was there for a little while. But if you go to my gallery on BGG, you can see images without the text. There is some text on the images, but it's not the same as it was during the campaign. It was really funny. But yeah, it was great. Okay, well, what brown can I use? I want to use a brown for sure. I think I have Gorgruntifer is going to be the one I use.
Let's see if I can not make a mess.
So I'm going to try to go with just a tiny dollop and see if I can make it work. The good thing is going this method, looks pretty bad so far. I maybe should be using
Hey, thanks for the follow, Kindred Soul.
Are you actually in Korea? So you don't want you know, you don't want the full pupil to be, I'm going to let that dry, so large. You want it to partially be.
Hers are by like completely, hey Dutch Yoda.
Yeah, they do remind me of Super Dungeon Crawl. I am certain these were probably, this campaign was inspired by it. They had done, I believe they did, I'm painting this, like I said, I was going to let it sit. They had done Arcadia Quest before this, and Starcadia Quest maybe around the same time or before. And those were chibis as well. I actually have very little of Super Dungeon Explorer. I have one that had like these cabbage. I actually got it later because I was like, I want to paint those. And then I have the base box, I think, as well. But I also have Starcadia Quest, which I want to paint as well. And that one's kind of exciting because there is no, color scheme. You know, you don't have to, I'm going to be cleaning that up. You can do what you want, right? There's no, these are based on comic characters. You want them to, and this is one of the great things about this, why I'm pushing this. Like I do this all the time. I paint these minis because I want people to, first of all, paint your minis. Really makes the game much more exciting and immersive. But I also find these kind of sizes super inviting. They're not that hard. It's not simple to paint, and the method I'm using here is kind of like the easiest, where I feel like you're getting good results. Well, that one's a little better. Ooh, too much paint. So I'm actually pulling it off of the little scoop I was talking about, and it's okay. Plus, these are not, like the main box is $20. I've bought one for cheaper than $20. And I actually bought a set that included Enter the Spider-Verse, the main box, and the Doctor Strange mini for as little as $25, I believe. It's worth it. Okay, so now I'm going to use this same brown, but I'm going to put some contrast medium down because I want to make it a lighter brown. Message here. Don't know if that's, I think it's the other phone. Okay, so just a tiny amount. We're just painting her eyebrows and her eyelashes. Wow, these are not integrating that well. Probably too pale. But we can put it on and see. Instead of going berserk like I normally do, let's just see what we got. It does seem pretty pale though. It's sort of almost there. Let's do it on her eyebrow. It's a little easier to paint. Get that out of the way. Kind of exciting not doing it in black. I mostly do them with a, dark mascara kind of look going. Oops. So I saw somebody doing a deal where they were using a toothpick. Oops. Says the guy who just double did it. But they did it, the little spot, like glare on your eye with a toothpick, and I feel it's too big. I've not tried to do it. I could actually probably... I feel like I'm making a bigger mess here. My problem is I don't think the paint is the right consistency. Boy, I'm not even touching, I don't think. Too big. It's not bad though. That looks pretty good though. Decent for me anyway. Hilariously, I will paint eyes on the tiniest of creatures, but I have a harder, I do okay on these sometimes, but not all the time. Get my hair in it. There's just like a dot right underneath her eye that I just cannot get. What is going on with my phone? Turn off notifications would be the really way to do this. Okay. I mean, they're doing it more pale than I am. I'm not sure I love it, but there's absolutely a spot right here that I cannot deal with. I mean, I can deal with it. I may have to. I don't know that I'm going to destroy anything just to try to get it to work, but looks pretty good. Okay, now do some lips. It's going to be the subtlest of pink. What can I use? I will use the pull up as pink and I'll really thin it out. I really enjoy them. Actually, I should not worry about the lips right now. I'm going to paint the rest of the faces. Did I not do the eye? I did. So let me touch up that and then I'll do the lips. Let's do them in stages. Whole point of this exercise let that dry. Whoa, I didn't do this one. And I just sealed the bottle. Yipes. Wow, did it spill? Yeah, look at that. Shot out of the lid. It did not get on me at all. And it got on everything else. That's weird. Felt like it was on me. At least I didn't get it on the mini. This is the problem with these lids, man. Like you have to use force to get them open. I'm not a fan. They're fine. They're mostly fine. But like none of them are great. None of them are great. Basically the eyedropper bottles are the best and they have problems because they get clogged up and if you're not careful you make a giant mess. So there must have been too much on this scoop. It didn't have enough time to either dry or settle. And so I flipped it open and it shot it out, which I wouldn't even have guessed that was the case. Wow, I don't know. Her eye is bugging the heck out of me. This is where I mess things up, going in and trying to fix it. But that sort of did it. Oof. It's going to definitely take some touch up there, which isn't hard. Harumph. Okay, and I'll touch that up.
Let's go back to the other one.
Okay. It's very large, very dark. Should be okay though. Okay. It's not focusing in, it's very tight. Ugh, giving her a bloodshot eye. So this is in a case where in a normal mini, I would not have this shield on here, because it's blocking me from getting a good angle on her eyes, her right eye especially. Not bad, not great. Okay. Ugh. I don't know what just happened there, but it double touched it. I think it folded on itself there, the brush. It's messing that up. Well, let's put some more brown on that and fix that one. And a little bit of white. I'm going to use a thicker white here because I want more control. Although it's starting to hydrate because it's sitting on the wet palette. So, I feel like the other one's too big. This is where I get into trouble. This one's going to be a little more splotchy. This will probably be the one I give to myself. Pretty good. Okay, no more touching. Ugh, making a mess. Better. Okay. I thought I touched that up under there. It's okay. That's okay. Okay. Red. Let's move on to some other things here. What time is it? 12. Okay. I got a little bit more time. So the faintest of reds. What did I do with that? It's right here. Let's close this up. I think I'm done with that for now. I do need to do her hair, but I'll probably do that another day. So it's pretty pale. I'm going to try to build that up a little bit. I'm hoping it's light enough that one coat is not enough. Might be too light. That looks pretty good. Yipes. Try to pull it off the base. It's not on there. Hair's in the way. Okay, well there you go. Looks pretty good. Okay. Focus in here. It's funny that it's very light on her eyebrows, so I'm going to go with what we got here. Hmm. It's interesting. There's like a red strap here that is not repeated over here, so it's not like suspenders or anything. I don't know what it's doing. It's pretty cool though. Plus, oh, you know what? It's part of the flag. Or is it? Boy, that's weird. Does look like it. So she only has the flag on one half of her body. I guess it's sort of the flag. This is terrible. It's not even a good angle of her, so I don't really have an idea. I mean, you know, I could probably find the source, you know, a similar source. Huh. Okay, well. Gosh darn, I'm sorry, it's not really focusing here. So she has a blue. I will try again. I feel I did not get it right on Maestro. I'm not a huge fan. It's a good blue, but I could probably make it darker if I did a wash over it. I wish it was this color, but I don't think this is it. Frostheart is too pale. What do we got in the other colors? Beowulf blue. Royal Robe, that's going to be too strong as well. There's piping on the back here, which is not even visible at all. Hey, wow, it's sort of there on this one. And kind of on this one too, but the molding on these are not ideal. I don't think it's the paint. I did a pretty light coat of the dark color, and that's the black. Well, let's try one of the blues. Really don't like them. What's celestial blue? Is that a purple? This is probably too light or too dark.
You're gonna go to a movies? I see a film in HDR by Barco. What film is that? I've seen Barco projectors, a movie with Barco projectors back in the day. Mostly see IMAX projectors now when I see the digital stuff, and which is most of the time. We did go see Project Hail Mary last week, and it was good, and we saw it at the Chinese, excuse me. Cinerama's still closed. And it was great. But we have a theater up on the hill, I guess, which still has 70 millimeter. I mean, probably since all the stuff with Oppenheimer and things like that, they're leaving it up there. And you know, it's a different screen. It might be bigger because we are seeing the Chinese, which is a converted theater, which I think they did a great job on, but it could be better. I don't know. We never go to the one on the hill because it's more expensive, and I believe parking is not as kind, although we ended up getting hosed on the parking because I guess we went over 4 hours, which is fine. Man, these are all so strong a blue, man. Every one of these, except for that one. I wonder if I could darken it up a little bit. So let's go with, let's put some on the back side just to see where we're at. It's probably too, What is this one called? Celestium Blue. Maybe it's the one to go with. I don't know if you can see it here. I'm sorry. Get these out of the way. Too glary, shiny. This might be the blue. It seems it's not so bright. I am not sure. I don't think that's supposed to be a strap. I think it's just supposed to be the flag shape. Union Jack. I don't know, man. Need the smaller brush. This is very tight. Oof. Ugh. Got my little pool of water. It was sitting there the whole time, and I just agitated it. So I'm trying to put a little bit of white on this like elbow thing that she's got going on here, but I don't want it to be too strong because it's a red. I mean, there's actually a white underside to her arms as well. Flying paintbrush. Well, it might be the level of blue. I think I need a better brush though. Let's try this one. Man, the phone is going off the hook. Okay, I will look at that as Annie writing us, which is great. Okay, I wanted to do a little bit of the blue again with a better brush. It's probably a couple coats as well. Come on, focus. It's probably a couple coats as well just because it is pretty thin, but I don't want it to be too dark. I'm kind of going for, I mean, I wished I'd used this one on Captain America as well. Man, I will tell you, these brushes, this is my first one of these new Army Painter brushes, and they are nice. I need to get a smaller one. I don't believe this is a 5, but you know, none of them are the same between brands, so this feels like a 1 or a 2 from other brands. Well, let's look. This one's pretty small. This is a 2. Yeah, it's probably bigger. See if I can squeak some inside here. It's supposed to be light underneath. Now this is synthetic, so I don't know. I'm sure it's pretty good, but I'm suspicious that it might have, it might hook. You know, most synthetics hook pretty quickly. I'm trying to use this more like I would with a sable. I really try not to jab it into the recesses, because that's where the troubles are. Her knees are red, it looks like, into her boots. I guess I splotched some white there. Ah, blue in her hair. Terrible. It does look like there's some red here on the side. I'm going to try to paint around that and let that be it. Even though I couldn't tell you. Can't tell. The deal is if you're close, you're close. I mean, there's only so much information they give, and I'm sure they're basing them on some existing schemes, so you could probably find them. There's those. I thought I had one. I have some cool Marvel books that I got digitally, but there's not one of there's a really good encyclopedia that I don't have. I think Scott has a couple of them. He bought like an older version and a newer version. And I should get some. I mean, it sure would make some of this a little easier. Of course, you know, sometimes they're just crazy different. This is probably the right shade of blue. It looks, theirs is brighter on the example, but it really isn't. If you highlight, then you get that brighter thing, and I'll probably go in and do some work to brighten it up. Although it is kind of. Oh, you're gonna go see it tonight? Cool. Yeah, we liked it. It was good. We decided to go to the Chinese, which is not critical. You know, it really is. I really liked it. I liked the Chinese a lot, but it was, I don't know. We had not been to it for a while, although I feel like it wasn't that long ago. We have been since the pandemic. And we might have seen Doctor Strange there. The Multiverse one. Oof, this is not great here. It's really kind of going on splotchy, man. I don't quite understand. Maybe because I did the first coat with that other brush. It took a lot more strokes to get it on to the mini. But I've done all these pants. That one little splotch of white too. I'm not sure when I would have done that. It has to be when I was doing something, but I don't feel it because there's white all over here. It could be airbrushing too. It could be spreading. Well, that's probably it. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, I gotta go. I need to go to the hospital for a blood panel. Look at my blood work. Let me clean this brush properly. Yeah, we really love the Chinese. It has been our go-to for 10 or 11 years now since they remodeled it. Actually, I went in 2015 with Rusty. Rusty was part of a group of people that waited for the movies for charity. He's actually in a documentary about it. I think he is badge guy there. And that is his handle all over the place. And he wasn't going to do it for that movie, and he ended up doing it, some of it. And so he got tickets to the first night. So, you know, it opened on, let's say, Friday, and he was there Thursday or something like that. And he had a spare ticket, and I was not going to go without Nikki, but I went. She's like, you should go, boys night out, go do that. I'm like, so I went, and it was fun, but I'm trying to zoom in on the screen here. And I really love the theater. So we started to go see movies there. I particularly was blown away by the 3D because it was way better than I had experienced before. I did go see Avatar because I knew it was going to be made in 3D, you know, and so I'm like, well, that's the way to go see those movies. And now I've gotten to where I don't mind conversions as long as they're not terrible, and they're generally not. Since nobody's really shooting very much in 3D anymore, probably James Cameron is it. And it was great, you know, it was really great. We've seen a bunch of movies there. I went to see, we did not see Doctor Strange in the theater originally, and I was bummed because I bought a 3D TV and bought that Blu-ray, and I'm like, wow, this would be amazing. And so we went, and it looked great. 3D Blu-ray looked great. But we went to go see it when they had their 10th anniversary in 2018. And we went to go see that and then stuck around for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which was great. So the whole thing was really cool, and we had a great time. Yeah, so we spent 5 hours in the theater there at that. I was trying to tell people to go because it was so great. And we were the last performance on Friday, which was, you know, lighter attended, but still too late. Well, I'm sad I didn't get the other ones painted blue, because I would like to use up this blue I have this mix, but I know it's this blue Celestium blue and of course the contrast medium. So I will try to do the same and get through these. I would like to try to do her hair. I've got to figure out the white. I mean, this may be fine, this lighter color. It's very dark back here. I didn't do as much as now I will do some highlighting, like these are stress on her fabric, which I thought they were stitches. I'm like, what have they got stitched on her rear there? But it's just the fabric straining to her chibi rear end. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Get to the right thing here, see if I can do it. Cool, thanks for joining me. We will be back on Thursday for a regular game night. I don't know what we're gonna play. We might play Layers. I'd really like to play Layers. And then I won't be back painting till Thursday next week, at least on the stream. I hope to paint. My goal is to actually do some painting. Thanks for the chatter, thanks for the follows, really appreciate it. You guys have a great week. I'm going to try. I have a bunch of work to do ahead of me, but it's worth doing. Let's see if there's somebody we can raid. That's weird. Okay. Wonder if we're having problems with the internet. Has anybody noticed anything weird? I was getting a notification about YouTube. Get to the box. I don't like that it's multiple steps. They've changed it all. I don't know why they think that's great. There we go. Maybe Dutch Yoda streaming. Let's see. Boy, is it slow. It could be. We've been having internet issues lately, I'll tell you that. Oh, you're not streaming yet. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. We don't have following. I don't get this. I need zoomy glasses because this is so tiny. It's interesting, it's all mini painting. I wonder why. Derek is so much better at this and he pays attention. I am terrible. Hey, but that's a plus. I found stuff. Can I minimize that? Okay. Huh. Well, let's go raid. Oh, Dutch Yoda, you're 4 minutes away. Well, maybe I'll kill time for 4 minutes. I do need to go. I'll wait for you for 4 minutes. There's some other stuff out there, though. Take care, Daryl. Have fun tonight. I actually kind of want to see the movie again, but I'll probably just wait till it. I mean, we spent $85 to go see that movie with parking and everything. It was a mess. We were probably 10 minutes late from the parking, which was a bummer. But we got there early, and that's how it works. I said to Nikki, I'm like, we might have to pay more, and of course it was a lot more. They basically charge you a flat rate. I'm confused by the whole system there. I hope that they don't charge that stuff all the time. But it is really nice there. The theater's great. The mall is terrible. They're really struggling, and it's too bad. They repainted the place, and it's not good looking, and nothing is opened on the second floor that isn't already there. I don't even know if all those things were open, but there was a candy store that was open there, and it's probably not right, probably not the second floor. There's like another wing. So once you go into the lobby kind of area, because they have all the Oscar winners on these columns, which is really cool.
but the places, malls are just struggling in general here in Southern California. Let me know when you are going live. I will see if I see you here. I wonder if I can search for you. Probably. Well, let me see if we can find. Wow, that's weird. Took me to something else. Maybe Dutch Yoda's actually. Live but not live. No channels found. You just went live. Okay. Huh. Nope, not doing that. French would be terrible for everybody. Although, as you can guess, Dutch Yoda is in the Netherlands, so. Is this board games? It is. Am I wearing my regular glasses? Nope, I've got my readers. This is terrible. We follow Dutch Yoda. This should show up. Let me try one more time. It might have been not live when I actually searched. Ow. Boy, this is hot. This is ridiculous. Has it got a space in the name Dutch Yoda? No. Let me just try. There we go. When you search. Okay, we're gonna raid Dutch Yoda. So everybody say hello to Dick for me. He's gonna start actual streaming soon. If you wanna jump in on the raid, go ahead and click on through if you're on Twitch. And I hope you guys have a great week. And try to not overheat or freeze to death. I don't know. We were hot last week. It's now cool, not cold. Hey, we got 8 viewers. He's going to be live in a few minutes, everybody. Bye, everyone. Oh, thanks so much, YouTube folks. I really appreciate it. Really, everybody was great today. A lot of chatter, which is fun for me. And have a great one. Hold on, let me see if I can find this stuff. Okay, bye everybody.